Hello. Welcome to the Malibu Music Room. Well, I wonder who that could be. Hi, it's Johnny Zambetti and Ben Rothbard from the Palms. Come on in, boys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Hey, welcome to the Malibu Music Room. Welcome, lads. You're no strangers to the Malibu Music Room.
That's correct.
And for the sake of full disclosure here, he and I have the same name. So, guys, I want to talk about the bands and everything, but a little bit first, since this is a Malibu show, we just want to talk, Johnny, a little bit about, growing up in Malibu as a musician. People don't really think of Malibu as being a very inspirational place. Supporting musicians.
Who says that?
Give me your vibe on growing up in Malibu. What was inspirational about that in terms of your career?
We were just having this conversation yesterday in a meeting we were at with just talking about the sort of the amazing amount of talent that's come out of Malibu, especially my generation too. I mean, there's the older generation of established artists and everyone that live here and have made a home here, but the next generation below that, kids that I grew up with and stuff too. I mean, between Blake Mills, the Goldsmith brothers, Swayze, Cisco, Alex Orbison, all these. Dwayne, of course. Yeah. I mean, this is an amazing wealth of talent and inspirational. I mean, the key word is inspirational, right? You're trying to find out that it's just, it's an interesting place. It's unlike anything I've really seen. We've traveled all over the place too, and having that much diversity in all of the genres of music. It's not just one sound, one sort of band, one look, vibe coming out of here. It's covering, all across the board.
Yeah, one of the things, when I have done the initial intro for this TV show, the idea was that I felt we were at a certain point in time where Malibu, in some senses, was almost like Liverpool, because you had the Malibu Inn, where Liverpool had the Cavern, were a place where you could play original music. And that was something unusual, because most of the other places pay to play or play cover songs. So in terms of when you were initially playing, you guys had, you had PIMP, you had some different things, wondering about that, feeling like you could write your own songs.
I didn't come up with that name. I was
the Players in Malibu Park. That's
I was 13 at the time. That was Swayze.
What did the band consist of?
That was Swayze, Mikey, a kid that I grew up with, myself, and one other member. It was hip hop, rock, hybrid. But the Malibu Inn was definitely a special place for anyone growing up in Malibu too. We really miss it dearly. But it was a place for us to try things out and get, work out who we were and musically and.
But you'd have an audience too.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. We could play original music, and it was wild times at the Malibu Inn. It was really fun. They had the small little stage where that was just a house party more or less, and then we graduated to the big stage when we were ready, and that was more official business. Then you had to deal with getting paid, which never happened, and then you learned the music business at the Malibu Inn.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you had before that, of course, was Urge.
I had a band called Urge, yeah. I don't remember any of these things, but a lot of bands came through here.
We'll put a little clip in of you guys playing at the Malibu Racket Club, being introduced by Grace Slick.
That's right.
These are some of the crazy things.
Hello, my name is Grace Slick. We're here at the Malibu Racket Club with Urge, Nova. They're from the OLM school, and they're entrepreneurial. They put on their own show, and they're going to play in about 2 seconds. Watch.
Hi, this is Johnny Zambetti. A little dance party for all the junior high students in Malibu.
That's right.
These are some of the crazy things.
Urge sounded grungy.
There was a band called Urge, I think, too, from
Right.
the 60s. Yeah, was it grunge?
You were Urge,
doing-
no the.
We had no the, yeah, so just Urge.
Just Urge.
We were playing like
cool.
Pennywise covers, and we were just thrashing.
But in terms of also playing in the choir at OLM, did that influence you at all, or how?
Yeah, I mean, playing in I feel like a lot of people got their starts playing in a choir because you're young. It's already a community that you find yourself in, so you're attracted to. There's music every Sunday, so you got rehearsal and a show once a week, so you're forced to play and practice and learn. There's amazing players at the little choir that we got down the street, so
Yeah.
I definitely honed my technique there because I took some lessons, but that was the main. I went to church.
Honey,
Yeah.
could you bring me a pizza?
Then from Malibu Inn, meeting Cisco, and from then next thing you found yourself in White Star.
Yeah, I mean, I was thankful that those guys took me out on one of their last tours, and I was a kid, and I got to cut my teeth on the road, and
Yeah, but I mean that was a real experience with White
that
Star.
was real. Yeah, that was for my first tour. Yeah, we were playing amphitheaters and stadiums all over the place, so I got to piggyback on the last chapter of that amazing journey that those guys had. So
White Star with its show on MTV, and then Swayze with VH1. I mean,
Right.
the Swayze thing was
yeah.
the Swayze thing was interesting because you went out and Swayze was a certain level, and suddenly the TV show pushed into a whole nother situation.
That did, yeah. That took him on a crazy journey.
So talk a little bit about that, doing that.
Well, I was just playing guitar on a couple songs with those guys, and I was, that was their trip. But it was amazing to see one of my best friends from growing up, watching the evolution of his career too. So yeah, we were playing a smaller stage on Warped Tour. That same year, Katy Perry was on it too, and random people, and everyone was still kind of just getting going. And then the show came out, and then they blew up, and we got bounced to a higher stage.
So then, how'd you guys meet up?
We have a ton of mutual friends, but we were doing background extra work on commercials when we first were just for a gig. It's good money. And it was my first job. Ben had been doing it for a little bit, and I remember there's a lot of downtime, and you're sitting there and trying to figure out how to make the days go by. And
Sizing people up.
yeah, some sizing up.
Golden
And I remember
Girls.
you were talking to Charlie, one of our other buddies, about the best record of 2010 or something. It might have been that long ago. And I was like, all right, they're talking about music. I can try to jump in this conversation and try to make the day go by faster. And that was that. So he had a band called Terraplane Sun, which was mostly consisted of, it was just yourself mostly as a solo record, or what was?
Basically, I'd made a record by myself and a producer, this guy Vinny LaRusso, and called it Terraplane Sun. As far as live was concerned, there are different variations, kind of like a revolving cast of characters, but never anything too serious. But I was serious about it, and I made the record, and tried to do something with the record, but the response back then was that my voice was too weird.
Kind of like what Neil Young ran into.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it becomes like
The most popular
Yeah.
sounding voice. But back then, this was like 2008, 2009. It was a little too weird. So yeah, I gave Johnny the CD. I think we exchanged information.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, he dug the CD, and then we started jamming. Started writing right off the bat.
Yeah, but then eventually you put the new Terraplane Sun together as a...
We were almost just gonna come up with a different name, but because I had that record, my thought process was, well, at least we have something to
build
pass
on,
out.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had a sync.
But,
You wrote the.
Yeah, I had a sync. Yeah, there was a little bit of some foundation there.
So from then, how many records did you actually do as Terraplane? Was it 2 albums that you did? Or?
We did one that was released, so basically right after we met, we started writing immediately and clicked, and our sort of influences and everything came together and created something that was a unique sound to something that neither one of us had put out music that had sounded quite like that before. So we packaged that, put out a record we actually made in this room, and that that was what we had for a couple years. We were touring and playing just songs off that record. We had the residency at the Cosmo in Vegas and stuff like that off this garagey band record that we made in this living room. And then from there, we signed a deal, went through the whole thing, and made a full-length album that is yet to be released.
With Terraplan Sun, I mean, I always describe that band as the Yardbirds meets the band with a little bit of Van Morrison. You know, that's how my sensibility was.
Yeah.
I mean, for you guys, because I mean, what you're into now, the Palms, is really a different situation. But in your mind, what was Terraplan Sun like? Would you can even describe music? It's always hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a nod to that era you just mentioned. You know, we're all drawing from those influences.
Because it was multi-instrument, especially with Gabe, there was you've got besides the normal lineup, you've got trombone, mandolin, accordion. It was all kinds of stuff.
It was very much a band, so
Yeah.
it was very much the sum of its parts. You know, so where Cecil was really coming from like kind of a punk kind of background, Gabe was coming from.
Yeah, he's a Berkeley nerd. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and Johnny, was very much, it was like the Beatles, Stones kind of thing. Where I was coming more from a blues place, and Johnny was coming more from like a 60s pop place, and then that's,
Yeah. You guys had a lot of success with song placement, movies and commercials and stuff with Terraplan Sun. I mean, just for the audience, maybe just mention a couple of movies you had stuff in.
Yeah, everything from video games to movies. So 21 Jump Street, What to Expect When You're Expecting. Those were like the bigger movies. We had a couple of commercials, Citibank, Chili's commercials. Yeah. We did a
lot of TV shows.
Ton of TV shows.
I think it's like 50 syncs or
almost
something.
50 syncs, yeah. So
then moving on to, you guys decided to just break it down to the two of you with the Palms, which is where we are now.
That's the short version.
Yeah. So
we just broke it down.
Well, give us the long version.
No, I mean we did some cliche band mistakes that you think you're smart enough to avoid, but they get you regardless. We signed a bad record deal. We had bad management issues. We had a lot of just bad people that came after us. So the band got hung up, and Ben and I were the driving force of creatively in terms of songwriting and stuff like that too, and just trying to keep the ship afloat during the Terraplane years. So we continued writing music, and we're thinking we were going to try to do it for Terraplane to get them out of the situation it was in, but it turned out to take on a life of its own. And then we realized that we could just sort of harness what we have and keep it that way. So we started programming instruments, and it just opened a door to a whole other world.
Were you focusing on, because the Palms is a lot different music than Terraplane Sun. Mm-hmm. So were you focusing on the success you had with syncs and trying to write more towards that, or you just focusing on a different type of music you liked, or what made you want to change the outlook of
Well, I
Palms?
think initially when we first, it was just such a mess. It was, I don't want to say it was scary, but like we'd worked so hard and put everything we had into this one thing, and to have it kind of taken away from us, we didn't know what to do. So I think initially we were trying to write with the intention of maybe getting a sync, or who knows. That's when we wrote a song called Headphones, which is like really poppy. But what really set the whole thing off was the pure song that we've probably ever written, which was Push Off. So that song, came strictly out of, the emotional tension that we were...
Yeah. I remember, we were doing like a top line thing that some publishing company had set us out to do, to write for 5 Seconds of Summer or something. And we were in there, and the guy left to go get coffee or something. We just looked at each other, we're like, this is so not what we're about. I
remember too, you started playing the progression. I was like, what is that?
Right. Yeah. No, totally, exactly. And we started hashing it out and got a melody and stuff. And the guy came back in from his coffee break and was just a worn out person who was not
talking
a good vibe.
About like schmoozing at all these like writer mixers and stuff. It was just so weird.
We're a band. We're band guys, and we write songs for certain reasons, not
just want to
just
get caught up in this world
for a paycheck. So we wrote that song leaving this top line thing. which obviously we were already coming out of annoyed and why are we, confused and every sort of emotion. So Push Off was the baby, the brainchild of all
this
that.
song's already had 1 million hits on Spotify.
Well, it's got like 400,000, and then SoundCloud has another 300,000. It's getting close.
Yeah.
This is a song we just.
And that's without even promoting
That's
it.
not anything.
Yeah.
So it's resonating because that's just a serious. It came from a place that people can relate to. It's not a very. It can be. You can take the song in a few different ways. It's not just black and white. So people are sort of gravitating towards that. We just had a huge sync that just aired to the show called Kingdom that has Nick Jonas starring in it. I guess it's on DirecTV. So it was the last. They played the whole song. It was the ending credits. So that set off a firestorm too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems, again, I've talked about this on the show before about, the business model in the music business, and what is the business model? And it seems like now that a lot of people are hearing music through blogs, and you guys had success with that.
Blogs are a huge part of it. Gives you the credibility, and really does help to get your music out there. And there's a number of different ways, but you start off really by putting your music up on SoundCloud, and you'll see a reaction. It's pretty incredible. Like if it's good and people dig it, you'll start to see a reaction.
Mm-hmm. People are so scared that because it's oversaturated. There's anyone with a laptop can put a song on SoundCloud. That's a fact. So people are like, it's scary. How are you gonna break through? But the saying is true. The cream rises. It's not impossible. We're standing here living proof that we put a song online with zero promotion on a website that has 1 billion songs, and it gave us another career in a different band. No one cared about Terraplane Sun. No one knew who we were, and from SoundCloud we linked up with our manager, this young lady named Annie DeFada, who was 21 at the time and in school at NYU at the Clive Davis music program, and we met her in November, and by December our song was #1 on Hype Machine, which is sort of an aggregate blog that shows what's kind of the most popular music on the internet, and then from there, every label, every publisher, everyone.
Yeah, because it seems like once those blogs hit and coalesced, and it went to #1 Hype Machine, suddenly the floodgates opened, and you're getting calls from managers, record labels, attorneys.
Hype Machine. So there's thousands and thousands of blogs, but Hype Machine grabs the best blogs in their opinion.
Right.
So if your blog is legitimate, it's a Hype Machine blog. So then if a Hype Machine blog writes you up, then you're entered into the Hype Machine with 1 million other songs.
Yeah.
So to go to #1 on Hype Machine means that I don't know, man, it's crazy. It's like the most popular song of that week on the internet, basically.
Because it seemed also that you guys with Terraplane Sun, you had toured opening for Imagine Dragons, and you had met the Reynolds brothers then.
Yeah.
And it seemed like then this next thing brought it so that they're now involved in management with you as well.
No, we'd stayed in touch with them over the years, absolutely.
And then this new thing, even though it was different music with the Palms and what they knew you for, it was the fact that through the blogs and getting this recognition, that suddenly.
Well, we even went to a meeting we got courted by a massive publishing company. They offered us a deal, but it didn't work out for us because we were already making a lot with licensing. This isn't Terraplane Sun. So after that sort of imploded, we came back with the Palms, with Push Off, with these songs that are now well known, are giving us a career. And we played them for them over there, and they're like, listen, we just have to warn you guys, it is so difficult to try to do this again. And we're sitting there, we're like, well, we'll take that, but that doesn't mean anything because this is what we're doing. There's no other option. So,
well, I think in her defense, she was saying it's so difficult to, for a band that was in our situation, for that band to be able to rebound.
Right.
So I think she was more referring to trying to save that band.
Right. Yeah, trying to save. Right, but we played them all the same songs. Right. It's just it takes a.
You got to be crazy.
It's validation, but it's also you just have to.
You have to have an insane belief in yourself.
Well, yeah. I always say nothing validates like a check. And when people start writing checks to you to put their songs in TV and movies, it's like that's pretty good validation.
Oh, absolutely.
Most people have to stand behind that. with
That's
what
something.
they've
That's
done.
something that we've been very fortunate with, is that people, continue to write checks.
Yeah.
For our sound.
But now you're moving to the next level where you're going to start touring with this.
Right.
So you're getting ready on that.
Yeah, we just did a big KCRW show 2 weeks ago, and they've been playing the song on the radio, and through that we started to get more attention and people reaching out, and now we're going out in a couple weeks with this band We Are Scientists. We'll just do a West Coast run, Vancouver back down, but we're also going to radio right now independently. The thing about where the music business is now, which was something that you brought up earlier, the business model and all this stuff, everyone's trying to figure out where's it going, what's the next thing with digital streaming and everything too, where's the revenue streams and all this stuff. But as an independent artist now, especially since we've been through the whole label thing and we've seen a lot of things, there's so much opportunity as independent artists because of SoundClouds, TuneCore, all these platforms where you can get distribution. I mean, the barriers to entry are all gone. So when you're making a record in the 90s, there was 5 majors, there was 10 radio promo people. If you weren't being played on any of those stations, no one knew who you were, right? Or MTV. Now it's, with distribution, done. You can do that independently. Marketing, PR, done. Social media, you can put everything out there. You can become massive and sell out venues all across the country without hiring a single person. So we've taken that to the next level.
You
too.
hire people.
You hire people, but not even.
TuneCore, you don't
have to hire anyone.
Right. True, but you don't have to sign to a label. You can do everything a label does. Right. And and the more I start to kind of see what's happening under that, label umbrella or whatever, it's like you realize you can really do this on your own. And not only that, like when you sign to a label, you are now signing away the mastering. You sign to a publishing company, you're signing away the publishing. So now all, those revenue streams and those royalties are now going to these two, massive conglomerate, whatever. And then it's up to them to then cut you in whenever they deem necessary. When you own both of them, it's incredible how much money you can actually see and have, like, as an independent artist, you don't have to get that big to make a living anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're seeing, decent revenue from Spotify right now, and our song is just bubbling. Like, if you actually maintain and own your product, like, if you sign to a label, you need to have a top 10 single.
I think the dilemma people get into is that luckily you guys, because starting with Terraplane Sun, you already had a revenue stream happening with TV, film, commercials, because they still need the labels really for tour support.
Right.
100%. And for PR.
Radio promo, but it depends on which platform you're trying to go on. But yeah, it's just that people, we don't want to sound jaded because we've been through a bad situation, because it's the opposite. It's hopeful, and because of where everything is right now and how much access independent artists have to people, and they're the ones that are paying. So, you can, from everything. Yeah, it's like you can do distribution, you can do marketing and PR. You know which cities you're blowing up in because of all these metrics that you can see on SoundCloud and not so much Spotify, but you can. They're just a little more difficult to work with. But so then you can start attacking certain target markets and stuff like that. With Facebook, all these metrics, we have access to everything. So it's really interesting. And that part of it is exciting to us because, labels are great from like 50 to like 500,000 record and beyond, but this core beginning, you're making your fan base, making your name for yourself, everything that too. I mean, you 100% do it all on your own because you have the control of what it looks like and what it sounds like. But also, you can actually really get it to a really good place.
So what's next for you guys?
We're going to radio. We're self-financing a radio campaign right now, which you definitely couldn't have done 10, 20 years ago. And so that's going to take us to a lot of different places. Right. Hopefully. Yeah.
Let's hear some of this stuff.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, before we do that, one thing I want to clear up, Johnny, with you. You guys are in Terraplane Sun. On these cable TV shows and direct TV, they also have film, music. They also have music channels too.
Right.
And when they're playing the music, sometimes they explain something about the band.
I know where this is going.
And with Get Me Golden, which is the big song Terraplane Sun had, it talked a little bit about experience Johnny had during the Malibu fire in 1993.
Yes.
So we want to get this clear because the story wasn't exactly correct.
It wasn't. No.
So what the real story is here, and Johnny, you can tell it.
No, it's like, the Music Choice channel
you
has
remember
like
filling
fun
that out?
facts. No, I don't know where they pulled this info from.
It's amazing that they pulled this
So
info.
specific though. Yeah. So on the DirecTV Music Choice channel, they were playing "Get Me Golden" on the alternative hit station or whatever. And in the fun fact about the band, they listed it was something like lead guitar player Johnny Zambetti, like during the fires, ran out of his house with deodorant and his guitar, or something. Yeah.
What the real story was, this was 1993.
How old was I?
So you were
7?
you were like 6 or 7.
Let's not age. Let's not get that. Well,
Yeah.
93. I was 2.
It was hair gel.
Yeah.
And what happened is that Johnny goes like, well, what's happening? And I said, well, there's a fire and we have to get out of here. And he said, well, what's going to happen? I said, well, probably nothing, but if the house burns down, it's insured. It's just stuff. The important thing is that we go to a safe place. But I said, if there's anything really important to you, grab it and let's go. And so he was like 6 or 7, and he came out with fresh underwear, his Stratocaster, and some underarm deodorant.
So they weren't that far off.
Smart
Yeah,
kid.
they didn't say it, but
He
that's
was ready
what
for
I
the
was like.
road.
I was ready to bust.
If it all goes to hell,
Yeah.
I can build it all back up again.
Right.
And incidentally, that guitar is on the wall over there.
That's great.
That's a great story.
So anyway, let's hear some
To the
tunes.
music. Let's do it.
My world, my God, if I'm gonna make it, then it's time that I speak my mind. Can't take that away. Wait, so you gon' use me now? We on take this, take that, I can take it, but I might just lose my mind on my shirt anyway. And if it all came crashing down, just know that it won't bring me down. Well, put me on the front line as you're sitting on the sidelines. Don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. While you're slipping sideways, I've been making my way. Don't think I waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. 'Cause yo, push off. Go on, push off. Fake this, take that if you wanna make it. Now it's time that I speak my mind. Can't take that away. And if it all came crashing down, just know that it comes back around. Oh, put me on the front lines as you're sitting on the sidelines. Don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. While you're slipping sideways, I've been making my way. Don't think I waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. 'Cause y'all push out a little push out. Go on, push out. See me sailing on that ego trip, and then they blast off on this spaceship, a million miles from reality. But they don't care for you, don't care for me. Why there's so much trouble in the world. the front lines. As you're sitting on the sidelines, don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. Why you slip inside? Why you slip inside with my way? Don't think I waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. Play with my mind.
I want to thank Ben and Johnny, the Palms, for coming to the Malibu Music Room, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Yeah.
My world, my God, if I'm gonna make it, then it's time that I speak my mind. You can't take that away. Wait, so you gonna use me now? Well, you take this, take that, I can take it, but I might just lose my mind on my shirt anyway. And if it all came crashing down, just know that it won't bring me down. Well, put me on the front lines as you're sitting on the sidelines. Don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. Why you slipping sideways? Well, I've been making my way. Don't think I waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. 'Cause y'all push out. Go on, push out. Take this, bake that if you wanna make it. Now it's time that I speak my mind. You can't take that away. And if it all came crashing down, just know that it comes back around. Well, put me on the front lines as you're sitting on the sidelines. Don't think you can play with my mind, 'cause that's all mine. Why you slipping sideways? Well, I've been making my way. Don't think I'ma waste no more time, 'cause that's all mine. 'Cause y'all push out. A little push out. Go on, push out.